Welcome to the Didi and Lital Show. Advice, thoughts, and stories from a married couple on cybersecurity, technology, and life in general. Now here are your hosts, Didi and Lital.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? This is Lital, and this is the Didi and Lital Show. Hi, Didi. Hi, Dennis. You're coming back.
Hello. Thank you for having me again.
That is great.
I need to plug that we are just in the morning before Christmas Eve. And before we forget, because we will dive into topics and go deep into this, but I completely forgot about it in the previous intro. The Patriots were able to execute the worst play, I think, in football history. That play back was just so bad. And it shows why sometimes you need luck more than anything else. Because Tom Brady's Bucks had a horrible move of themselves. Basically, the long snapper hit the guy who was supposed to do the fake punt in the head, and he dropped it, and it turned a bit to be a disaster. But the Patriots outshined him, and now nobody remembers that.
You predicted that. This is producer Dave, just reminding our listeners that Didi predicted this weeks ago. In fact, you said this is their butt fumble. You were off by a few weeks because this really is their butt fumble.
This is their butt fumble. I did predict a butt fumble there. Yes.
Well, I want to remind everyone that our sponsors are Oat and Hunters, and check us out at oat.io or hunters.ai. Thanks for sponsoring us. And we have a lot of topic to cover, so we'll try to get into that. I want to start with, two things that I think are really related. I just finished reading a book that highly recommend everybody check out.
That's my fault.
Bullshit Jobs. Yes. I feel a bit, I don't know. There was a certain point reading the book, Bullshit Jobs, that I felt a bit suicidal. Like, I have to say, it's so depressing. You have to check it out. It's about a guy that he wrote an essay, I think 2017 maybe. He wrote an essay about some jobs just being bullshit jobs. They're there, but people know that they're not doing anything beneficial. And he didn't realize how big the phenomena is. And there was a lot of follow-up after that. And some people put a survey and found out that about 30% of the respondents thought that they are doing bullshit job. So the job is not meaningful, if not contributing something for humanity. And there are different types of jobs. Either they're really doing something fraudulent, and that makes it BS, or there's red taping. That's another one. Or they are in a company that shouldn't exist, that the whole company is BS. And, I want to link it to the new trend. Everybody is on ChatGPT. AI is coming. You can generate now essays, text, social media posts, stories, everything. So it's kind of made me think, will this problem be solved? And soon there's not going to be bullshit jobs because AI will take over. And I have two of the people that are most allergic to BS work. So I had to have you with me in the room to kind of cheer me up and tell me that people should not do job that is meaningless.
So I'll kick this off because Dennis will Dennis will appreciate this. So there's one bullshit job that I hope will never go away. Dennis and I are big fans of the show Silicon Valley. And what happened to Big Head, at some point he was sent to the roof. Which is what all technologists want to happen to them. That you'll get acquired by a big company and you'll be given a bullshit job that pays a shitload of money. And the only reason that you're there is to sit on the roof in the day that the product that they bought will fall apart, and you'll need to come and save the day. Basically, all your job...
You're like an e-stop, emergency stop, right? You break the glass, you press a button if something goes really horribly wrong. You like insurance, safety insurance.
Exactly. And the basic is I want to have a bullshit job. And I also want to have the character to be able to collect money from a bullshit job. this is my failure as somebody that's allergic to communism. Because let's be honest, the thing that really invented bullshit jobs was the Communist Party. Because I needed to give a whole bunch of jobs to a whole bunch of people who are a bunch of my friends, and I needed them to do something to move shit around.
No, nobody wants to have unemployed people. You need to make sure everybody's busy. So
Exactly.
you give job to the society. Otherwise, society breaks.
Exactly.
Look, guys,
As a survivor of Soviet Russia.
yeah, as a survivor of Soviet Russia and haven't seen bullshit jobs and just the miserable failings of communism, I'm also a believer that bullshit jobs will never go away. It doesn't matter if AI is going to rise or if people going to refuse to, going to try to get something more something more inspiring with their time. A lot of, bullshit jobs are just a byproduct of people being stupid. And since that's never going to go away, so the jobs will never go away.
So you're saying we will always need people to fix stuff that the other people do instead of
I think
having
that's,
people not do it to begin with.
I think that's one side of the coin. So basically, you're taking the position as like, look, something stupid is happening here, and we need something to cover it, right? So this is a
Fix,
job.
cover, yeah.
But another way to look at it, somebody just continuously is doing something stupid and just making the job stupid, right? That's kind of another piece of it too. So there are two forces that force bullshit jobs to be created.
So I'll give you an example of a bullshit job that makes everything bullshit. So as you know, in my family, you become a doctor or a lawyer. Doctors, unfortunately, are necessary evil because people get sick. Lawyers are, for me, one good example of a bullshit job. You would not have lawyers, people can negotiate, but the more lawyers you have, you need more lawyers because they'll create more conflict to prove that you actually need them. So they'll accelerate the need for lawyers. I think the guy in the book calls them the goons, because you create a job that if you don't have the bully to go threaten somebody else, you're now at a disadvantage. So you've now created a whole class of jobs of people threatening other people, basically like goons, in a nice, polite way, to accelerate the need for those jobs.
So why wouldn't you develop a software, AI, that will go and solve, two people fight with each other? They'll solve it, the argument, the way the AI would want.
So let's say I develop some AI crushing, lawyer crushing AI, right?
Yeah.
And D is going to be the law company that we're trying to crush. The obvious response, of course, is to hire somebody to develop, AI crushing AI to crush me, so I can't crush the lawyers, right? It's just will continue to escalate, and then the two jobs will become bullshit jobs.
Because governments will want to keep those jobs alive.
It's not only that. Think of the fact that there's also a need for us, specifically with the goon jobs. There's a need for us to punch somebody in the face. Just look at our kids playing hockey. Somebody needs to cross-check somebody. Oh, do you have that desire? Now, you can't do this in a non-regulated way. So you need those people that will go cross-check them verbally. Having software do this is just not gratifying.
Well, you can have a software referee to stop the kids from over cross-checking each other.
So that's an actual really interesting thing. So right now, for me, all the refs in all the sports are bullshit jobs. Because everything right now, and speaking of the Patriots and that stupid catch, right now tennis has replaced the line referees with a machine.
Sure, you have sensors.
Exactly.
Cameras, sensors everywhere.
Why can't you replace all those line judges, all the offsides in all the games? Think of all the offsides.
Because we want the human being to look at the data coming from those machines and be the one to actually deliver the news.
But the human is stupid. People, by definition, IQ is a bell curve. So by definition, like Dennis, please please make your statement because I love the way you explain it.
Didi, I will take your lead on this and not use foul language on your show.
Okay, so Dennis says the following thing. Think of the most average person you know. 50% of humanity is dumber than him. That's the definition. So letting humans control things like being the referee in an offside, things that are easily, that it's clear a right and wrong, you should have an AI that deals with this.
So tell me the history of stupid jobs, at least kind of how you guys perceive it. Is it jobs that were always stupid, right? Or, what I'm hearing is maybe jobs that were not stupid, maybe were necessary, but then became stupid over time. But, folks who have those jobs, or the ingrained interest in those jobs, have a reason to protect them and to continue doing them, right? So is there some kind of split between those two buckets, or are there other buckets?
I would really recommend reading the book because there are different kind of buckets of stupid jobs. It's really interesting. One of the buckets are jobs that emerged with the service economy. So instead of, most humanity that was sewing, building, manufacturing, doing actual non-stupid job. There is nobody working in a manufacturing line that would feel that he's doing a stupid job because at the end of the day, there is a T-shirt that he produces. So one of the main levels of people
what if
in
you
that
produce a fidget spinner?
Yeah, that's interesting. There was a guy that was talking about creating all kinds of Christmas decoration stuff that felt that it's not, while he's doing things, like the actual outcome is garbage. But so that's a topic too, that it depends of how people feel, because you can say they're creating something that brings joys to people's life, right? Fidget spinner makes people happy. I don't know, fidget with something. I think there is a level of people that are just in managerial rules, which we talked in our Viking, like if you don't actually produce, people that are only brought in to be red tape, people that are a lot of examples in the book of people that the jobs are built to recreate a process that is broken.
The Didi and Lital show is sponsored by Ort. In today's world, identities are the perimeter protecting the organization and are the most exploited vector by attackers. If your security teams are struggling to maintain control of identity management tools, Ort can help. Ort offers a centralized platform for discovering, monitoring, assessing, and remediating identity threats to your business. While most security platforms can take weeks or months to start identifying and remediating risks, with Ort, your security teams can get started in as little as 30 minutes and start securing the identity perimeter immediately. Ort will surface the most critical vulnerabilities and give your security teams the recommended action steps. Start your trial today at ort.io. That's OORT.io. The Didi and Lital show is sponsored by Hunters. Hunters helps your security team overcome data volume and complexity while significantly reducing false positives. Upwork uses Hunters' SOC platform to remain threat-focused. Because of Hunters, Upwork has been able to stop going through the daily repetitive task of looking at alerts and doing lengthy manual investigations. Learn more at hunters.ai.
There are jobs, I'm thinking about jobs, that are close to my heart because I'm in marketing. I love everyone that is dealing with, SEO and stuff. But if you think about it, it's a job that was created to feed some blogs and text into the Google bot. It's basically human being writing stuff to serve a bot. Yes, it helps your company website rank and it helps sell your product. So you may say it's not BS, but can it be replaced with AI? Yes. Now everybody's talking about those jobs going away with GPT because you can create a ton of those pages. So there are a lot of those kind of jobs. I think some are really needed and will stay. Some, like the guys that write a bunch of cold emails, will go away because you can have the AI write those emails and automatically send them. If you're going to spam, let the bot spam. Don't spam yourself.
So you mean that the BDRs will be replaced by ChatGPT?
I think they're already being replaced by ChatGPT. Yeah, there's a ton of automation going on around that, and I would not recommend to use it. I think if you want to sell, you need to be consultative. You need to create relationship with people. If you're going to send a gazillion of cold emails that are basically a ChatGPT stuff, just forget about it. It goes to spam box. But let's go back to the topic.
Can I ask you a question about the bullshit jobs that you know, if I channel the capitalist inside of me, right? Shouldn't, you know, the forces of the free market really like squeeze out the bullshit jobs and not like, I understand that it's not perfect efficiency or by any means, right? But either over time or to some percentage, let's say 50%, 60, 70% of bullshit jobs should eventually just shiver away.
No.
When
or does
Elon
that not
Musk
happen?
comes in, that happens.
No.
But
So actually, he discovered sometimes the necessity of the bullshit job, because there's something that in terms of the bullshit job, the bullshit job sometimes masks a real problem. So if you're talking about a perfect company working in vacuum, things are awesome. Like WhatsApp, that with very few people made an impressive amount of money because everybody was valuable and everybody was useful. If you let some things come into the process that already have a bullshit job part of them, sometimes yanking the bullshit out.
taking the people that are responsible for content moderation, for example, that he thought was bullshit, so he removed them. And then what happens? There is a certain expectation that there is some sort of moderation. So it's an interesting thing. I mean, can you take away everyone that is? And I'm not saying compliance and regulatory is bullshit, but sometimes it is red taping, and that's
So this is where you and I kind of disagree. So for me, there's a way to do compliance that is bullshit, and there's a way to do compliance that is necessary. I'll give you an example from a completely different field because everybody understands this. There's a book in medicine called Harrison's that describes the basics of internal medicine. And it describes a guideline that if somebody comes in with certain disease, here are the steps that you expect to investigate this. Now, you can go on your own and make decisions on your own. But if you fail, you will be prosecuted because you have not adhered to the standards. And when you fix a plane, there's a process that says, here's the book and here's the diagnosis process that you have to go through. And you have to go through this because otherwise a whole bunch of people die. With compliance, especially in our space, in this industry, what we try to do is make it a bullshit job. So we bring in a bullshit auditor and we have a bullshit person that gives him bullshit answers. But eventually, if you get hacked, like certain companies that
it just proved that it was bullshit, right?
It actually proves that it was bullshit. But eventually, if you can see right now that the auditors, especially now, the government is putting pressure on the auditors that they will have, and the cyber insurance companies are putting pressure. Eventually, the compliance will be that you actually need to follow the rules. So if you say that you kept everything encrypted, you kept everything encrypted. If you made sure that everybody had a background check, you actually ran a background check. Speaking of bullshit jobs, background checks, that's a bullshit job. Because
it's automated, isn't it? They
No.
just search the internet.
No,
What
it's not always
the-
automated. I remember, hiring a person and the background check would just run late. And it was taking weeks extra. And it wasn't because the person was shady. It was because it was a funny story. It was the end of the summer, or the summer just ended. And the people who were replying to background checks were clerk magistrates in various places. It was Massachusetts, And the summer interns went back to school, so the people who had replied to background checks just weren't around. So, they didn't get time to get back to us, and that person had to start weeks later.
Okay.
Or the fact that my background check, they couldn't talk to anybody in Tel Aviv University because, you call somebody in Tel Aviv University and you say, I want to run a background check. The common answer you get out of Israel is, fuck you.
I don't think the nice lady in the administration does at FU. She might have said something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think she said FU.
I'm betting. She said maybe a polite FU, but, Israel is known for service and efficiency.
Yeah. She probably said, I need to ask Sarah
or call
Zippy.
Or call in our working hours, which is like 9 a.m. to
probably they just called off hours and got the answering machine. I want to make sure that we don't run out of time. I want to tie it back to job security, what we think is going to happen, and to cybersecurity. So let's go talk for a second about AI. I think a lot of people talked about ChatGPT now can generate a lot of code, can generate vulnerabilities, can actually do a lot of, using bots to scam people. There's a lot of possibilities. How much do we think it's a risk? So what do we think?
So first, VS Code has Copilot now for a while. And the only people that I've seen use it is the smart people that didn't actually need it. The dumb people never knew how to use it effectively. So it made...
You're saying the code that is generated might be more secure than code generated by human beings?
No, I'm saying that usually I've seen that AI tools are used by the smarter people that actually...
To make it better.
I think, what Didi is talking about is, we try to become better at our job. We're trying to become more efficient, and we use various tools at our disposal. And the pattern that we've noticed over time, of course, is the folks who are already good, they can take a lot more advantage of the new tools, of the new approaches, to make themselves even, far more better than the folks who maybe weren't as good at their job to begin with. Kind of the, multiplicative effect they enjoy from new technology is not as vast. So, AI is helping people now. It's going to continue to help people who are very good, whether for the good or for the evil. And it just, technology changes the world every day, right? Remember the time before it was possible to, go on the internet and search for something, or before we had mobile phones in our pockets. The world has changed, and the world is changing again, and it's okay. It's just going to be the new reality, and we'll live with it. It will create some new jobs. It will remove some old jobs. The pattern, I think, at least I observed, is the world is going through significant changes. That's always been like this throughout history, right? With invention of electricity, or the light bulb, rather, and just lately the world is changing much faster.
It's accelerated.
The time between the world being very, very different has shrunk very significantly, and that's going to continue to happen. And sure, AI will help bring about a lot of changes. I'm not worried that a lot of jobs will disappear. Some will. Some new jobs will be created, and there will always be some bullshit jobs if the job you used to do is not there anymore.
So Lital is very worried about how would our kids deal with ChatGPT and submitting their homework. What do you think? Will teachers know if somebody submitted ChatGPT homework?
Depends on the kid.
So
tell the story, Dennis.
I'll tell you a funny story. And this was many years ago, when it was in the mid-90s, when I just came to the United States. There was an incident in the school, and what happened was somebody submitted. It's a true story. Somebody submitted an essay as homework assignment, and the teacher looked at it, and she it was in middle school, read through the essay, and looked at the kid and said, "Look, you didn't do this. And the kid said, yes, I didn't. I went on the internet and I got it from the internet. And the teacher turned around to the class and said, do you see, kids? People who get their stuff from the internet get the best grades, and gave that person an A. And it seems like really like silly right now. It's obviously was plagiarized, but it was back in the days where people kind of didn't get the internet. There was no Google.
They thought it was amazing thing.
Yeah, it was. They thought this is abstract, amazing thing, and maybe that meant going on the internet meant like you did some research, like you went to the library and you're a genius, right? It didn't had this connotation to them that they typed something in and the computer came back with an answer that of some essay somebody else wrote, and you copied and pasted it. Of course, behavior like that would be looked at very differently today. But this is where I think chat, GPT is for people right now. It's just this obscure thing, and they don't know yet where to put it. And we will learn to use it correctly and abuse it incorrectly over time. It's just part of the new world.
Part of the new world, creating security issues, solving some issues. Brave new world. We'd like to have more people enjoy the show. If you have topics or you want to be on the show, please reach out to Didi or myself on LinkedIn. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.